Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Spellspire, the latest from 10 Tons. 10 Tons have done a lot of games, everything from the rather good Sparkle to the surprisingly excellent Neon Chrome, and today we're going to be taking a look at their newest title, which is again Spellspire. I'm not very good with intros, so let's just hop right into the game, shall we? I'll just hit play and immediately go into this floor of the tower. There's 100 floors of the tower and you have to rise to the top of them. The best that you can. Alright, so we have a new monster ahead. And we have to take it out. How do we take it out? We spell words. It's a lot like Boggle, more than it is your typical... like bookworm style clone, where you have a bunch of letters on the grid. They never change. So what you have to do is spell as many words as you can with the grid that you're given. And if you do that enough, you will kill off all the enemies and move on. If you don't do it fast enough, you'll get hurt. If you run out of health, you die. It really is that simple. Very simple stats screen there. It also tells you all the words you didn't discover. There's a fair few in this game. It'll even tell you the longest word that you haven't discovered, which is certainly a nice thing. There are a few things you can do while you're in this shop menu. For example, you can buy a little tip. Thank you very much for telling me that. I already knew that. You can upgrade your base attack and your base health, although this really doesn't help that much, especially with the base attack. I mean, when you upgrade your base attack, you only get that much in the way of stats. The problem being that your base attack, well, my base attack is already at 1,000. So that just kind of sucks. You've also got your Monsterpedia here, which doesn't run that well, but at the same time, it doesn't really need to. It's a Monsterpedia, for God's sake. You can buy item slots. You can carry around items that you drop off enemies. And you can come to upgrade your armor, your hat, and your wand. So this is my current wand. It is the cheap wand of death. It does death damage, not poison damage. And we can upgrade it for a certain amount of coin, which will make it do more damage. You've all got all different kinds of wands, and some monsters are weak to some types of attacks, so it's good to have all these wands here just in case. And you unlock more as you go on through the tower. Same thing with clothes. They also have different abilities, so yeah, monsters drop more items. If we come over to this one, first monster on each floor takes twice as long to attack, yada yada. What does this one do, actually? You have 20% chance to evade any attack. That's actually a decent ability. I wouldn't mind getting that, but it's 6 grand. You earn gold fairly slowly in this game, which is kind of unfortunate, because it means you have to do a fair amount of grinding in order to... It means you have to do a fair amount of grinding in order to stand a chance at some point, which kind of sucks. Because what you have to do a fair amount of grinding in order to upgrade your stuff's power. And when you have to do that, that means you have to go back. You have to go back to previous levels. And, well, just play them, right? I'm going to use my item here to save me a little bit of trouble and get to the end of the level. You have to go back to the previous levels and you have to go through them again to earn gold. However, the game does give you a few options for this. So if we tap exit the tower here, instead of going on to the next floor, we'll come back to the tower. And every level that you've completed previously has a challenge mode. And the challenge mode, which is kind of unfortunate in my personal opinion, is exactly the same on every level that you've been to. You need to get to the end of the level with full health. I mean, it will let you get through the entire level. It will let you go through the entire level without ending if you take a bit of damage or whatever, right? But unfortunately, it seems to... It will take a fairly long time if you decide to do this and you manage to fail, like I'm about to here, because I can't spell anything with these words. The game has some weird words. That it seems to think that I should be able to find in some of these grids. Thankfully, the grids are randomized every time you come into the level, so if you have trouble... If you have trouble finding the particular words, you can just come back in, and you will be able to, you'll be able to get a brand new grid, and with that, you'll be able to hopefully finish the level. I'm just going to use my fire spell here, because these things are weak to fire, but honestly, I'm having a ton of trouble finding words already. I don't think I'm going to make it through the rest of this stage. This tends to happen a lot. Oh, hang on. Nail. Tail. The entire game is basically this, though. You go through the levels, you spell as fast as you can, hopefully you don't die, you go back, you buy more upgrades, and that's just it, really. You do come across boss monsters on every 10th floor, and after I go to my shop and see if I can buy anything that'll be useful to me. I don't think I will be able to do that, unfortunately. How is this? 490 health versus 450 health, but I have to spend a ton to upgrade it. Which is unfortunate. Let's just upgrade my damage. That'll do me more good than upgrading my defense, because I'm still pretty damn fast. Although, if I end up running out of words to spell, it's not going to matter anyway, but oh well. I will play against a boss monster for you. The boss monsters are pretty basic so far. It's literally just, they're really strong, so you have to hit them as much as you can. Thankfully, I managed to kill him off rather quickly. I actually got an interesting power up there. There's a bunch you can get. There's like spell scrolls and heal potions and stuff like that. But that one is interesting because what it does is it lets you use every... what's the word? It lets you get the longest word that you have by default. Just right off the bat. No questions asked. It's kind of nice. Let's try this stage, because why not? It appears we're actually doing alright on this stage. The controls work perfectly fine. The game's performance is... the game's performance is fine as well. It works pretty damn smoothly outside of the bestiary being a little bit weird. Would have been nice to have that ice scroll, but I guess not. You can actually sell items that you pick up in the dungeon when you get back to the tower, which is kind of nice. Yeah, might as well continue up onto the next floor, see what I find. Level 27, huh? Tourist Dictionary finds a random 5 to 6 letter word. Yep. Ooh. That looks like a good wand. And it's about the same amount of damage that I do already, but... am I going to be able to get 11,000 gold before I find the need to upgrade my damage. I mean, I have a fair few levels that I can do back there. But who knows? And someone's just started up their bloody boat outside. That's going to be great to deal with in the bloody recording. Alright, show me a word. The base gameplay is pretty fun though. I got no problem with just the basic spell as much as you possibly can gameplay. It works. It works pretty damn well. It controls well enough, it's engaging, there's just, I mean, every positive word I can use to describe this game I probably could. It's not that complex, but it works pretty well, and considering, like, this is 2 hours right here. Counting the amount of time that I've been recording for, this is about 2 hours worth of game time. So, this is pretty good game length for my money, because this is going to be $10, which is a bit more than your typical 10 tons game. I'm going to go down, I'm going to try this level again. Survive with full health, and I'll get 1,800 coins for it. I've got tons of damage, so hopefully I'll get a good letter grid. There we go. I survived with full health, I get all my money, and now I can upgrade my staff. It's just a pleasant gameplay loop. Basically, I find no real problems with it. It's just surprisingly capable. Ooh. Ooh, that might be worth something to me. I can get tons of health. But that would mean skipping over extra damage. You know what? I'm gonna leave that up to you, because I've shown off enough of this game, despite the fact we're barely 15 minutes in, and that boat motor is probably gonna get extremely loud in the next few minutes. So, I figure I'll just leave it off here. And by the way, just in case you're wondering, this game is 22 megabytes. So, yeah, it'll fit on literally any memory card. It's actually kind of impressive how they managed to get this sort of art to fit in 22 megs. 22 megs. That's pretty damn impressive. So, I'm gonna end it off right here. But yeah, I fully recommend Spellspire. If you're looking for this sort of game, it will do you just nicely. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.